Hey, it's your brother VANSILK sitting here. Okay, the reason why I rock this t-shirt with this, y'all gotta, hip hop fundamentals. All your hip hop. It's because, man, I'm gonna say this right now. You're not gonna rewrite our hip hop history from the first generation. You're not gonna steal it. And you're not gonna sit up here and tell somebody else's story, especially if you wasn't there. Okay? Now, if I have to expose some things, like that fake flyer or fake postcard, that's not the original. It was made for a whole different situation because I want you to know that it's not real. Okay, if I have to sit up here and show you that this is fake and this is not real, I'm not just talking about that. I want you to understand there's a difference between what was going on in rap and when the MCs and the MCs and the DJs cutting back and forth in the late 76, early 77. Let's cut the bullshit. Okay, let's not mix water with oil. Okay? So you can't tell the story of Breakout and Baron and Sharp Rock and the Funky Four. You can't tell Cowboy story because he's not here, but we got enough close people to tell Cowboy story. You can't tell Raheem's story. You can't tell Melly Mel and Creole and Scorp Storio. Storios, yeah, Storios. I only could tell AJ's story. That's my mentor. To a certain point with him and Kenny G and Sonny G. And some of us could tell Love Bug. You can't tell Mean Gene and the L Brothers story. You can't tell Flash story. You can't tell the Mercedes Lady story. You can't tell Disco Mario story. He ain't here. And some of your people need to stop fudging dates. I'll talk to Cool D and Tyrone the mixologist when it comes to Disco King Mario, because that was their stereo equipment out in the parks in the early days of 123. I don't care what nobody say. I know what was there. And you can't tell the Zulu Nation story. Some of y'all need to stop fudging. Seriously. I'll listen to Mr. Biggs. I'll listen to Charlie Rock. I ain't listening to everybody because you know you wasn't around like that. I listen to Africa Islam, the Marbury crew. Like, yo, come on. Because a lot of things are happening, you're trying to change dates. Can't. Don't do it. You will get called out. The whole Sapphire crew in Harlem, and with Willie Gums and the Disco Four and all of them, they know who was around in Harlem. Just like with Johnny Warnham on the East Side, they know who was around, who was doing things. Just in King Towers with Ronnie Green and all that. We know who was around, out and around. Just don't put your place in a situation where you wasn't there. Now, I'm going to say it again. You had the A-list groups that the Ray Chandlers and the Arthur Armstrong did parties on. And then you had the middle, and then you had the Mickey Mouse MCs. Let's keep it real. So don't come over here, oh, we did this party in the park. Yeah, you might have did a party in the park over here in Soundview, and we over here in Forest, and we over here in Millbrook. But what groups popped through? It could be the same night. You could have Harlem World T Connection and Ecstasy Garage going on. What groups you got on there? Because if you got the main groups, you're going to have the Mickey Mouse groups. And people are changing their timelines. People are changing their stories. People trying to make their story more than what it is. And y'all need to stop. Okay? We got a lot of culture vultures coming in here right now trying to get money off of something that they had nothing to do with. And y'all falling right into the crevice of it. If you ain't got your information out, and if you ain't got your information together, you're going to be forgotten. Okay? I don't have to lie. My first party I did was in 1981. I was with AJ from 78, 79, 80, and going into 81. Me and him couldn't work together no more. He hooked me up with the Cold Crush Brothers in 81 for my first party down at Lincoln Projects in Amsterdam houses. And then me and Mike and Dave got together afterwards. Because I couldn't mess with AJ no more. We know how AJ was. But at the end of the day, y'all need to stop that bullshit because you will get called out. And you know who you are. If you did a certain amount of things in hip-hop during that time period, stop trying to act like you're relevant today. Because ain't none of us really relevant today. Only a few of us can sit up here and do certain things. Put your history to what you did back 40 years ago and just stop trying to put yourself in other situations, in other shoes, and in other seats that you can't sit in. You'll walk around here taking pictures with everybody and you're posting them up on your profile page. They ain't taking pictures of y'all and posting them. Half of them don't even know who you are. The generations after really don't know who a lot of y'all are. Y'all got to tell them who you are. Come on, y'all got to stop that, man. Y'all being too thirsty. And if you don't like what I'm saying, too fucking bad. Too bad. But they stealing our history and they rewriting shit right underneath your nose for some of y'all. But I ain't gonna let them rewrite the history of Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 and the Funky 4 and those who I know with a peak of what we did.